Like he even soloed Thrall with 3 of his allies next to him.
I really
Crazy.
feel you have at some point, if you play that style of game and you feel it's not going your way, at some point you have to make a call. Either either you die a slow death or you make a play that might fail, but you're not really going to lose anything.
And these were the 2 best plays by the 89.
Yes.
A Thorough Angel, fantastic hooks. I mean, everyone for all intents and purposes was playing great, but too much mobility, too much dashes out of a no stun comp, so they just had to go.
And towards the end of the game, I think there was a very special moment and a very intense moment, mind you. So, Calder, another replay. Here we go.
That was, of course, the finish here. And look at Falstad. Falstad already, here is, first of all, that stun that was already after the Mighty Gust, actually. They're safe, and they try to go for that core. But here in this situation, we're having the Immortal still doing work. They actually take a long time to take it down. He gets a few extra hits in. But that was also where Lunara gets so much value for the team.
Yes.
And they try to take her down. Breeze even missing that Stormbolt could have finished her off a bit faster, but just like the damage on the core. I mean, look at it. It was such a close play. Aethero, the last survivor, and he just doesn't have the damage that he needs.
Li Ming resets really helped in that fight, actually. Like, the second they started getting kills, it was like, okay, we're fine.
If you have the wrong kill order here, you lose the game.
Yeah. If they'd gone for Stitches first, it would have taken longer, and then the damage would have gone better.
Well, actually, they kind of got stuck with Stitches. Like, they followed Lunara and
so he was all the way on the other side.
There was like 3 people on Stitches the whole fight.
Yeah, Li Ming's like one of the only people who was able to get freedom. Like, you actually saw Quacknix micro his way up into the hall, so that he'd have mana to spam out, and then second Lunara stepped out of range, teleported after her, finished her off, got his resets, teleported to the other side, killed Rhaegar, so no more healing. And then by that point, everyone else was dead, so he was able to, already at the top of the core, was able to teleport one more time, disintegrate onto Stitches.
So they saved the day there, especially since Breeze actually missed that Stormbolt on Lunara. So that was one of those. This is one of the Stormbolts that you don't want to miss.
Yeah, definitely not. So that was definitely semifinals worthy footage here, though, for game number 1. Let's actually take another look at the map videos here to know which battleground is going to be played on next. I think, if my memory doesn't betray me, it is Sky Temple. Yes, and there it is, Sky Temple being chosen by Fnatic here as their first home turf battleground, so to speak. Sky Temple now, we've seen a crazy game here this day already, haven't we, guys?
We've seen a couple, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of really good games.
A lot of Fnatic's games, just in general, on this map. There seems to be a map that draws interesting games out of them, including, we've already mentioned this series, Fnatic versus My Insanity at Leicester.
Yes.
One of their games on this map was actually really, really cool. And this seems to be a map that's just still quite popular with the teams.
Yeah, definitely. Some players are not big fans of it because they say, you know, it's either too large or it's too snowbally. If you manage to continuously secure the temples, you're automatically going to win. But Calder, why don't you tell us more about Sky Temple before we get lost here?
My pleasure. Sky Temple, of course, we have 3 temples on the map, as you can see highlighted here. The objective is all of taking control and channeling those. You have to defeat the Guardians that, of course, are trying to push you off the temple, and your opponent's team is probably going to try and do the exact same thing. But if you have the temple control, then shots are fired literally against your opponent's structures. So you have, again, an objective that directly attacks your opponent's structures on the map, very similar to what we see on the Blackheart's Bay as well. So if you, in the later stages, get these temples, you can do a lot. You can control several temples on the map. We have a couple of camps, of course, also Bruisers and Siege Giants, and one very central position boss that is oftentimes fought over to get the final control, pushing down the bot lane and making sure that you get a very nice push going against the core.
That transition, though, right into the draft.
Perfect.
I like it. Like it, definitely. Sky Temple here, first ban going to the side of Teh89 here. They are still looking okay. They just barely lost game number 1, so definitely not a team to be discarded. A really, really strong performance overall. And what do you think, guys? Sky Temple, we haven't seen a Kalthas being chosen or banned at all in map number 1. Do you think that's going to happen again, Grubby?
I mean, he's a short-range hero, and we saw that on Battlefield. The combat was very drawn out over a much wider area, so it makes sense in hindsight. I still think it is really weird that he wasn't picked up in the first game, and I think that will not be a repeat on a map like this.
I agree. We're definitely going to see a Kalthas.
I just got information. Sorry, guys. Once again, this was the wrong draft. They will establish a new one. It would have been too nice to be true, right? No, I'm just kidding. We're going to get a draft in a couple of seconds now. We saw a ban on ETC, although it was the wrong draft. And ETC is, of course, a hero that Breeze likes to play a lot to more or less success. Can you talk us a little bit about Breeze and ETC's history?
When I talk about Breeze and ETC, I'm always joking with him about his ETC. Breeze is very proud of his ETC play, and for a long time. But as I said before, I watched a ton of that draft. I talk a lot with Fnatic, and Breeze had for a long time the little oddity where he would just randomly mosh in the middle of nowhere and not hit anybody. And he would always try to excuse it. Oh, it just like happened, it was a mistake. That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. We go into the next game where they scrim and he does it again. The entire team is just laughing and TeamSpeak at him. And it happened in tournaments for him as well. All of a sudden, he got very like, is my ETC really strong? Is it not? I got a little bit unsure about it, but ever since then, everybody on Fnatic is always making fun a little bit about his ETC play, even though it is, of course, very strong. It's just friendly banter there, but he's still pretty solid with the hero. He actually really loves those TC heroes. He played Diablo for a long time when Diablo was extremely powerful. His ETC is one of the things that they have been heavily reliant on. Personally, I have to admit that I like his Muradin a little bit better. I really feel he gets more value out of it, but as we already said, his ETC is very solid. And the thing about ETC is he is a huge threat to the opponent. A lot of teams do not like to play against him because they know even when they are ahead, if ETC gets this ult through once, a decent one, they can still lose the game.
Right, so as we see how the players are getting themselves ready for the upcoming draft, we can also make another public service announcement here. Blizzard has a really cool promotion gig going on. We can now have, or you can now have 15% off of all Heroes of the Storm merchandise in the store. If you use the code down below, definitely use that opportunity and maybe swag yourself up with some jackets, some shirts, whatever. Really cool stuff there to get for sure. So thank you very much, Blizzard, for offering this.
Another thing that I can chip maybe in while we have a bit of a break is that also on the side of Teh89, I talked with Ethereal quite a bit, and he actually talked about the series that they played against Dignitas, and he said, we kind of had a couple of like really awkward drafts there, but we like to have a cheese prepared for every map that we can throw out against the strongest team. So they have stuff prepared, not as much for this tournament since they are of course a newer team in this constellation, but they are a team that always approaches a tournament with solid drafts, but always one or two weird ones where they say, we are going to try and throw an opponent off guard.
Yeah, and once again, Kalthas makes it past the bans and the first pick phase most likely, because we see a Fawcett in here, we see a Muradin for Teh89, so they value a strong, solid frontliner more than the potential AoE destruction that comes from Kalthas. Tetra, what do you make of this?
I think the global is just incredibly useful, and the Mighty Gust is an effective tool. So Falstad on this map, especially seeing as how large it is so useful for the XP. Zeratul.
That's weird.
It's weird, you say. I like it.
Sure, weird can be nice.
Yeah.
But
Well, Professor Grubby, that sounded like you were having a little bit of a discovery made. Tell us why. Why is it weird?
I mean, to pick Zeratul over Kalthas is extremely unusual because if you play Zeratul against like a very tanky composition, double warrior, double support, one assassin, it sometimes seems like he doesn't have much to do. Tassadar is still open. I'm just saying this is... I always give the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because no one is trying to sabotage themselves. It is very weird and therefore very daring. Like, they must have some kind of special plan. Like,
maybe it's Zeratul.
It is one of the classic combos of the Void Prism from Zeratul into the Mighty Gust to blow everyone else away. It's a very old and classic combo, and Fnatic maybe just putting a bit of prioritization on it. And two, they know that Teh89 was going to pick Li Ming or Kael'thas if they were left open, and that gives Zeratul a lot of freedom in terms of who he can really go for here.
Might actually end up in a game where we again don't not see Kael'thas. It depends if Teh89 wants to play. Li Ming gets a lot of value on this map.
Now?
I would actually think about Tassadar, because like I'm looking at this and I'm thinking you can go into like a Thrall into a Sonya with the Tassadar support. So if you start with Tassadar, you have the option open. You of course then lack Kael'thas, but you can ban him out and completely annihilate him from the game. The only thing that you have to really think about right now is what is Fnatic's game plan, because they have a Zeratul and the setup that they can use with this. There's a couple of combos that we have seen in the past that you could try and utilize here. I mean, if you go full old school, again, I don't know what Fnatic is going to pick right now. A Falstad has also a Hinterland Blast. I mean, that's...
Gazlo!
I believe one of the NA teams has actually played that recently. It's also not something that I would necessarily expect here. It depends a bit on what else is being drafted. But it's always one of those things, if you try and throw a curveball, that could happen.
There is no curvier ball than Gazlo. If it happens, I will be happy. But and same with Hinterland, actually. It's still quite strong. It got buffed a little bit and then nerfed a little bit. It's in very much in flux, but there is a lot of setup for it. Like you said, with the Void Prism, can work out quite nicely. Johanna is actually leaning towards that a bit more as well.
I wouldn't go as far as saying they're going to play it here. I just want to see it is an option depending on what else comes into play. And it's stuff that you have to keep in mind if you're on the side of Teh89 because they see that. And I agree with Grubby. It's a very early pick. So there has to be some kind of plan. And Teh89 has to think about what could they possibly do with all of this? What are the options that are there?
The main issue with Hinterland Blast, of course, is long cooldown. I mean, especially if you play on the very competitive scene, you know that the enemy team is counting very carefully and estimating very carefully which heroic abilities are on cooldown and which ones are not. Now we see Johanna and Uther being added to Fnatic, and it looks like a very neutral, like a very solid overall It's not really giving a lot of information, does it?
We don't see like a Diablo who is like, oh, okay, that's why you want Zera Diablo.
That is something I could have seen as well, Void Prism Apocalypse.
But Breeze has chosen to go with his third warrior pick, which is Johanna. So Uther coming out.
I am a bit shocked that we still don't see Kel'Thas here, and
so
I think it's a mistake.
It's such a standard draft after such a racy, dicey second pick, Zeratul. And the 89 is not like countering Zera either. So it's pretty odd to me.
Yeah, I would still like to see a Kel'Thas here, to be honest.
It would fit very nicely.
I'm looking at that. Yes, the Tassadar, of course, is always an option with the double support thrall. You have also then the Oracle that you can use to at least give you some vision on Zeratul.
I like Tass here.
I like the Sylvanas.
I would have.
Can you tell us why, Hitcher?
Due to the fact that basically Falstad is going to be the main damage dealer at the moment in the backline, and it forces Fnatic, if they wanted to go for that Kel'Thas, to be a little bit more cautious, because Wailing Arrow, very, very strong, allows Thralls to deal a bit more damage. And of course, if you get that that temple control that Fnatic could get with the Johanna Falstad damage, then it could work out. Chen? Instead, maybe, though?
Yeah, I like unkillable characters more against Zeratul. I think it's a big mistake to get 2 or even 3 squishy backliners.
That does make sense.
I agree. I would have hated a Sylvanas. I think with Warple Blade, Zeratul is going to destroy her.
I do see a point there.
The one thing where I said a Kel'Thas, even though he's also on the squishy side, might be a bit different is because he at least has a stun control.
He can take care of himself.
Exactly. So you have a few options of how you can counterplay it. The Haka is great on the other hand. Falstad the Haka, I love it.
So they're actually playing an anti-Vikings comp.
Absolutely. That is a very good point there, Grubby. No Vikings on site, but still they go for heavy global mobility and hunting potential.
So the plan here is it's not about hunting Vikings, it's just about controlling the map. You have an implied presence of a 4-man team when you meet a single person. You meet Johanna, Zeratul could be hiding, skulking in the bushes, Falstad the Haka fly in. Like, there's so much implied pressure everywhere.
Definitely. Now, I'm starting to wonder, like, I don't know, Kel'Thas, maybe they signed a treaty before the game and said, you know what, we're not going to put this hero in this draft in our games, but I really don't know why they're not prioritizing it. Is it, to be fair...
He takes the role of Li Ming, in a sense, of being the strong backline damage dealer. We had Li Ming, Quacknix in the first game. He was doing great on it, and I don't see how he could have achieved the exact same result with Kel'Thas. The amount of long-distance poke he did. So that part I understand.
Yeah.
And Falstad is like very unique in a different way. But to actually take Lunara over Kel'Thas, to take... I guess Lunara in the first game, that was the weirdest part. But this game...
It was purely for damage, I think. Just purely for anti-poke potential and for the wave clear kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just special.
Which draft do you actually like more? Because I'm looking at this, and I really like what I see for Teh89 by now. With that last pick on the Chen.
Yeah.
I personally was leaning towards like a Tassadar, but now that I look more on it, because the problem that I have with Fnatic, where's the damage coming from to take these heroes down?
They can take 5v4s, 4v3s, 3v2s, and 2v1s, and that's their plan.
You have currently... You have isolation, you have globals that are going to be great, but like in a 5 versus 5 or something, you have a tanky Meridian, you have a tanky Chen, you have a Thrall with a self-sustain, the Rega sits behind them, has the chain heal available. The only real squishy is Li Ming, and if you think about the damage to take Meridian or Chen down, that's mostly Falstad Zeratul, especially after 16. Falstad is going to have a Chen jumping with both feet into his face every single fight. What is Falstad going to do? You sit there and you're saying like, well, either I move or I die. So Void Prison is going to be incredibly crucial for them.
Yes.
And I think if this goes into the late game on even footing, Teh89 has the way better option here.
And as you mentioned, Calder, I mean, it's hard to take down members from Teh89, right? So Void Prism in particular and the Mighty Gust will be detrimental to actually isolate or break the formation of Teh89 in order to maybe put the support out of the race, you know, so they can actually burst someone down. But I agree, the draft that we see in from Fnatic looks a little bit like they were trying to fight something that isn't there. I mean,
a bit.
I'm not sure if, I mean, as we mentioned, Vikings, that would have been a great comp against it, but do you think they have what it takes to actually beat Teh89 here?
Well, Grubby said it perfectly. If they get snipes, if they get fights where they have advantage, which they can do with the global, with the snipes, like other than the fact that Zeratul, like you guys said, doesn't have a huge amount of potential to work on his own, but his burst adds a lot to if they work as a group.
But again, like, just imagining, okay, you have a Muradin solo in the lane, the Haka moves in or Falstad moves in, no matter who.
Yeah.
He jumps away. You have after level 10, you try to go for Chen, he barrels.
Yep.
Thrall, you might get him, even though he can run away with his Wind Fury, has a bit of speed, so it's definitely possible to snipe these guys.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. It's not like you have a Kalthas sitting on the lane, or I would even say like a Vala, a hero that doesn't really have an honest escape. So it's not as easy as you would probably like it in Fnatic shows.
Yeah.
By the way, once again, we have a little bit of a delay here because the restroom seems to have some magical attraction here for some of the players. But now we're going to get started in a bit.
We do have bottles of water. It's not the only source of water.
Oh man, don't want to try this at home. Anyway.
Yeah, like I'm
coming over here.
There's a sink, you know. There's a sink. You guys get weird.
That was the last thing I was thinking about, Grubby. Come on, man. You can't throw these baits out there and they do all innocent about it.
I throw nothing.
I don't know how to do it in the Netherlands.
I mean,
All right.
I don't even know what you guys are on about.
Anyway, we saw the bracket here really quickly, of course. Just in case you tuned in later, maybe, or you haven't seen the previous series, My Insanity won in glorious fashion against Team Liquid. They are the clear favorite in this tournament so far. They're waiting for the ultimate victor of this best of 5. Either it's going to be Fnatic or it's going to be Teh89. Of course, we also have the road to the Global Summer Championships in Jönköping, Sweden. A couple of teams have qualified from all the other regions across the globe, and we're looking to seek the second qualificant from the European region. The first one, of course, being Team Dignitas. They secured themselves the spot at the previous European regionals in the UK. So definitely good stuff going on. And once again, just in case you're wondering, hey, Dignitas, they lost against Teh89, actually. They were the team that kicked out the reigning European champion.
Yeah, but we can't forget, like we said, the team that knocked them down in the first place for the second time, actually, in a group stage, My Insanity. But My Insanity have this time gone on even further and are just looking so strong. So Fnatic or Teh89, whichever one does actually manage to play this, win this series, is going to have their work cut out for them, seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's also not forget that it's, of course, mainly about the glory and the chance to qualify yourself for these summer globals, but also the prize money is a pretty motivating aspect. I might want to say that the first place gets 25K, the second place gets 20K. So either way, you definitely want to make sure to secure yourself a spot in the overall grand finals. Now, we're still waiting for the final player to show up here. We can also take a look at the remaining Fnatic video where we saw Schwimpy talking about the preparation and the current state of the meta in Europe. So I think we're going to take another look at these insights.
The meta game has gone back to the stun lock more. It was the meta, and then KT and Tyrande got nerfed. They're both back, and the stunlock meta is here again. Also, a lot of Vikings and Abathur is played now, so it has gone back a month or so. The goal is qualifying for BlizzCon in November, but we would be really happy to qualify for Sweden as well and play in our home country for the home crowd. But BlizzCon is the biggest goal, and I think we have a big chance of achieving that. So we just had a roster swap from Athero to Wobby, which made us a full Swedish team. The communication is great, we have a lot of fun together, and I think our future looks really good. I'm not sure if we can beat MY yet, but with time it will come, for sure.
right, we're back at the desk here. We just saw Swimpy talking about that the meta has gone backwards. Can you elaborate more from an expert's or caster's point of view what that means, Grubby? Like, we've seen stunning heroes very strong, and there's also, maybe with a focus a little bit, about the upcoming balance changes here. What that could mean.
Actually, the balance change that everyone is going to be going back to, which I believe is launching on Tuesday, which is in 2 days from now. 3 days, isn't it? Yeah, 3 days from now. Most of the stunts in this game are going to be tuned down a little bit, by about a quarter second or so. The untouched heroes seem to be Rexar, ETC, about 4 others, but things like Apocalypse, Stormbolt, Sonya's Leap. Many are taking just a small stun downturn while doing a little bit more damage. So everyone will have slightly more control of their character. Stun change will be more difficult to apply.
Yes.
Whereas the heroics and the skills will still feel impactful because, you know, a stun is a stun and you can still do a lot of damage on them. Sometimes even more so with the changes. We see like changes every week or every 2 weeks or so these days.
Blizzard is definitely doing a lot of work to keep the balance and the game itself up to date. Tetra, Grubby mentioned these upcoming stun nerfs on many heroes. However, some heroes remain untouched. Do you think that some of the heroes that are not affected by these upcoming changes will actually see much more play? I mean, there could be some room for that, right?
Quite possibly, but pretty much every warrior is being touched in one way or another. There's very few that are getting away with it.
Rexar.
Yes.
Who,
It's going to be Rexar meta.
Cloud9 seems to believe that for quite a while now. They really do like it here. But yeah, it'd be cool to see Rexar just micro. In general, it's always cool to see Misha being micro separately to Rexar, especially in the hands of America has a lot of very good players, but we have a lot of players who are really prided on their micro, like a lot of the external players, like Haswabs from My Insanity, for example.
You agree in that color? Would you like to see some more Rexar in the Nexus?
Actually, I know that Breeze has been playing a ton of Rexar, especially when he was very popular. So Breeze is probably one of the players that would love to see an opportunity where he can finally play Rexar. I'm not really sure if I like the hero.
Yeah.
He was always fun. Like
I do. I got him at level 12, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
I'm not sure if that should concern me or what, like level 12
it
Rexar
should
in the
not.
current state. It's like
It should concern my future potential teammates in Hero League.
So one of the things with Rexar was when you could actually put Misha more or less to the other side of the map without like risking a leash. And that's also how a lot of the teams scrimmed. And My Insanity literally said that for them it was very annoying. They see Breeze at the top lane and they're like, all right, Blackheart's Bay, we can invade the camp. And then suddenly Misha goes and steals the coins away and is already suddenly gone again. And they're like, what is this?
Yeah.
We didn't like that at all.
But the slightly faster movement speed than a base hero is just hilarious, watching her run away from everything.
It was just like a very fun mechanic that they had. It was not like it was not something that they wanted to do, but it was pretty cool to see. And if we have actually something that puts Rexar back into the meta, I think a few teams will definitely pick it up.
So I've got good news on the horizon. All players are now ready, guys. So we actually still missing predictions. So we're going to now make up for this one. Calder, if you take a look at game number 2 at the drafts, who do you think will come out on top?
I have to give it to Teh89 this time.
Okay.
I think the Globals are going to be a pretty tough thing for them to deal with, but I believe they can do it. And in straight-up fights, I think they are stronger. Late game is going to be theirs if they can get there, and I believe they can.
Tetra, what do you think?
I think Teh89's draft is a little bit stronger, but I think Fnatic's draft caters a lot more to their style. They're very good at those surprise multiple hero ganks, and I think they can play it well enough. So I'm going to give it to Fnatic this time.
Grubby.
The 89 is going to be 1-1, I think.
Awesome. Very short and crisp. That's the way I like it. I'm going to stay with the mainstream here, or the majority of the people on the desk. I think Teh89 has what it takes. They kicked down Dignitas and showed them who's boss, and their draft looks really, really good. I also think that Fnatic went for the slightly wrong approach here overall. Vikings not in the play, but they took an anti-Viking comp, and so I think actually Teh89 has what it takes to balance it out and makes it also more exciting for us. Now, talking about excitement, our casters are very keen on doing this match together. So Grubby and Thatcher, once again, take it away and take us to Sky Temple.
Game number 2, we have had a lot of discussion over this Zeratul pick as like one of the key things here. And Teh89, they have picked very well into it. And this is what we brought up. It was picked so early, Grubby.
Yeah, I've only seen one really good Zeratul play very recently in Europe, and it was from, I believe, Wobby.
Yeah.
For the rest, I think the prioritization on him is a little bit too high, but feel free to prove me wrong with your epic plays. Here we are. Second pick, Zeratul.
It is Wobby again on this, though, likely. But for now, let us introduce Teh89 on the left-hand side. Playing the Thrall, it will be Eternal. Playing the Chen, it is Athero Angel. Playing the Muradin, it is Zarmany there. They're making this very difficult. Playing the Leaf Mig, it is Sportbilly. And finally, playing the Rhaegar.
They should just keep that up all game.
Just stay
They'll be untargetable.
Yeah, group of
It's
five,
like,
exactly.
who is everyone?
Zeratul picks Cleave build.
Ah, damn. Breeze on Johanna, Quacknix on Zeratul, actually. Smexy style on Uther. We've got Shrimpy on Falstad, and in the bottom lane, Dahaka being played by Wobby.
Yeah, Wobby has shown a lot of strength on that Dahaka, so it is not too surprising to see him on that, but he usually has, like we said, been the one to play the Zeratul, so curious to see how this does work out. I think this is the first time I've seen Quacknix on Zeratul, so good luck to him. I'm curious to see how well he plays.
Yeah, diversifying a little bit more, usually with the ranged characters. Now we have him on Zera. Wobby going for the Primal Aggression build, double damage on minions and mercenaries with his Dark Swan.
Yeah, which is what makes Dahaka so good at that split push, especially if you get the increased essence from minions, so you can basically join your team no matter what. You've cleared the lane, your lane safe, and you already have the essence heal ready.
But I still think in Hero League it's all about the enhanced agility.
Oh yeah, I love that. If you are someone who is going in for the ganks for your team, which is very important in a team league, then it works out very nicely for you.
Yeah, and plus it's like you usually have a bit more time in Hero League than in competitive.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is the definitely the good one here. Probably going for the one who collects at level 4 extra minions essence rather than the hero stalker, since there isn't as much hero takedowns on competitive.
Exactly, especially on this map where it is more about the XP. And Dahaka has just been left in the bot lane on his own soaking XP. And Fnatic attempting to take that top temple, and they are getting most of it, but they have just given over the middle temple to Teh89. And Teh89, Rhaegar, with Thrall near him, looking to maybe make a play onto that top temple. Right now, the team's just dueling with it, but with the roaming of Quacknix there, this temple will belong to Fnatic for the foreseeable future.
And look at this Chen coming up to the middle. We have the top control by Fnatic. Johanna is trying to buy time in the middle.
Yeah,
Can't
she is
steal it.
hanging around. She's not really walking into the temple, but she is blinding them, just slowing them down, making so they take longer, which is going to give Fnatic more time on all 3 lanes. This is exactly what they're trying to do here. They're slowing down at Teh89, and look at this. Wobby is just gaining so much XP. They already have almost half a level lead. A little bit more just gained there thanks to a minion wave just being annihilated. But Fnatic, this is creeping them out a lead here and there. And right now, Chen has only just arrived bot lane. And in the meantime, Wobby, seeing as he had a minion wave cleared in advance, is going to, with Zeratul, take care of the mercenary camp so he can get a bit more of an advantage down here.
Yeah, pretty cool. The value of that quick wave clear with Dahaka, pushing like 5 minions to the tower. That's like a loss of like 500-600 XP that Chen will never be able to get back.
Yeah.
Pretty excited to see Athero on Chen. I've told the story before, but not everyone may have heard it. It's very short, don't worry. He came to Heroes of the Storm. He was in competitive scene already a month or 2 later, and he was just convinced, without looking at any tier list, that Chen must be really, really overpowered. And just wanted to confirm that everyone was on board, and they were not. Chen had almost no regard in the pro scene.
Yeah, he just told it to him. It was just like, Chen's the greatest, right? They were like, no.
Then why do I keep winning with him?
And this is just Athero just being really quite good at the game.
Yeah, he's a talented player.
Indeed. For now, though, he is getting tagged a little, but he's Chen. He does not care in the slightest. Just going to pull back, hold the minion wave. This is something Chen's very good at. It's so hard to win a lane against Chen because he just holds the minion wave at him due to the fact he tanks it up and then clears it bit by bit with his fire breath.
And Venom on Thrall, not going for the Chain Lightning talent, so prioritizing slightly less low the self-sustain. And one more cool thing about Envenom, because it deals damage over 10 seconds, if you cast it on Zeratul, Zeratul takes damage during those 10, and anyone that takes damage is revealed and doesn't auto-cloak. And then there is a 2-second timer after taking damage, so that's basically a 12-second reveal on Zera.
Yeah, it is pretty strong against him there.
Plus the damage it does, like 1,000 over those 10 seconds.
Yeah, it takes a while. It is a very long time. The duration of it got nerfed a pretty long time ago, actually. Before it actually used to be stronger, if you can believe it or not. And we'd see teams with like 4 Envenoms despite it not stacking.
Oh god, I had so much trouble against the Arthur's Kerrigan and Venom stack.
Yeah, that was
did stack.
It did stack?
Yeah.
Oh wow. It's been a while since we've been in that horrible time.
Arthur's Kerrigan roams didn't even know how to sidestep her sweeping grass. They would come in, get the combo every single time, double Envenom.
It was pretty scary. For now, though, Fnatic using their wave clear to deal with that Bruiser camp in the top lane, but this has let Teh89 begin to roam down through that bot lane. But numbers advantage down here, still in favor of Fnatic too. And Teh89 just looking for, doing what I expected Fnatic to do here and just looking for kills.
Yeah. As long as they stay together, they are not as much in danger.
Yeah, very true. So for now, DreamHack continuing to soak up top for his team because they will reach 10 quite a bit earlier, and he's going to get the Watchtower as well for his team. Get some XP.
Athero Angel, Quacknix, and DreamHack on the prowl. 10% of his life!
So scary!
Oh, it's back up!
Jaws would be very different if it went like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, he ate a boy off the side of our boat, and that's about it. Now he has indigestion. But now, though, we see Fnatic. They were able to get a lot of the shots from bot lane, but we saw a couple of them go over to Teh89 here. But Fnatic, like we said, still creeping ahead in XP here, thanks to that DreamHack and Falstad Global here, and they will reach level 10 first. The question is if they can make the most of it. Zarmani in an interesting spot here. I'm pretty sure Quacknix has no idea. Zarmani, though,
he should have known. He should see that blur. So
yeah, Zarmani should have seen the blur, but he is waiting very patiently for this.
So now, the value so far of the globals has not led to any silly deaths by the 89. They are respecting the fact that any 1v1 can turn into 1v4, so no silly overconfident moves.
Yeah, you say any silly deaths, no deaths at all, actually, from either team, but heroics are
no smart deaths
available.
either.
No smart deaths, no
ambivalent deaths, no nuanced deaths.
No apathetic deaths.
No.
Oh, I've died.
No. It's like, I'm a little tired, I give up. I probably shouldn't do that voice. I love France.
French have a good sense of humour, what we have found out so far. But now, though, isolation on the DreamHack, what we're seeing all the time here, barrel, of course, on Chen, and it is going to be the wave of force on Li Ming, giving them a bit of counter-engage in case Fnatic go for that big burst style. But Fnatic, with their split push potential, taking down the first fort of the game here.
Yeah, that's the real, not shocking value, but the real solid ground out value of the globals is the fact that Fnatic is up 1 fort, and they're up 30% XP to the next level.
Yeah, it's working out for them. It's slow, but it is working. They're all getting burst, but good heals. Void Prism, though, taking care of Rhaegar. Sunder against the counter, though. Divine Shield saves Zeratul here.
Very good Divine Shield on Quacknix. Oh!
They get Rhaegar with the isolation. Nicely done here. In comes Shrimpy. He wants someone. Can he get the curse? No, he's waiting it out. They're not going to get Zarmani here. He didn't want to just use that Mighty Gust on Zarmani.
Yeah.
So they let him go.
You don't generally... like, the angle meant that he would have pushed Muradin up into the top wall. Yeah. And then he'll be isolated, but with the full protective power of Double Tower and everyone behind the gate.
And he could have just jumped over the wall as well as his
escape. He used jump.
Oh, okay.
But he still had the avatar on, so that's deceptively much HP.
Yeah. He is very, very tough to kill. So
not exactly a duck in a barrel.
Yeah. I like this choice by Shrimpy. It was a good choice just to let that one go, because now he has Gust Up Gust. The cooldown did get nerfed, so it is a little bit higher than it was before. Quacknix doing some damage to Grand Paqueta, not able to kill him off, but forcing him out of lane. And Fnatic continuing to hold their XP lead. In fact, it's a little bit bigger now, thanks to 1 kill to 0.
1 fort piece down. Fnatic controlling the top laser. Athero here from the 89, the bottom one.
Yeah, that's going to be 2 forts, actually, in favor of Teh89 right now. The mid one is going down for Teh89. Fnatic taking that down with that top fort, but it's not going to die yet. It's just in a very good situation for Fnatic to roam onto it a bit later. We are seeing Fnatic just take care of the Siege Giant camps for now. We're seeing Teh89 take care of the Siege Giants, whereas Fnatic are on the Bruisers. And DreamHack staying a little bit further back right now. He's being a bit cautious while still clearing the lanes in the bot lane. And playing it safe. Like we said, playing it safe, being back to base. He doesn't know who else is here.
Yeah, actually, when I see the 89 playing, it doesn't seem that difficult to just play safe.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me feel bad about all the clown fiesta that happens on ladder sometimes, including my own plays.
Yeah, they're keeping up in XP very nicely. They're only a little bit behind, and that's because of one depth and just the slight experience advantage that being
that was a
global
fight.
team gives you. Yeah.
That's fair game if you lose someone in a fight, but they have not like run into a bush.
Yeah. They've made no mistakes, basically. They've made no silly mistakes.
They're always
capitalized on.
S4, and Chen can get out no matter what if he wants to. He can even. You don't want to use Wandering Cake to save yourself, but you can. It makes you unstoppable.
Yeah, we are seeing that 4-man push right now. We're seeing Zeratul and Uther on their way up. Tholstad flying in as well, super aggressive. He barrel rolls. Theoretically was a bit out of position, and the Wave of Force used to disengage him, but there's the Sundering. They want to try and catch Uther here. Uther with the Divine Shield off cooldown here.
Smartly not using it.
Yeah, he knew he would get out, so he is pulling back here. Chen has arrived, though. He could try and get a barrel on someone. Zarmley taking too much damage, though. And neither team able to get anything out of this. Playing aggressive, but not able to catch anything.
Now, Zeratul also hasn't made any silly overextensions. The XP lead remains true. This becomes ever more apparent at the later tiers, namely tier 6 and 7, where you get the level 16 talent and the Storm tier talent. So if Fnatic keeps this up, they don't really need to do any flashy
they're just slowly creeping ahead. That's it.
Yeah.
They're actually using this comp very efficiently. Yeah, not what we expected.
Yeah.
We did expect like the roaming snipes, and they have been trying, but they've not been overextending for it. Very nicely played by them.
Yeah, it's like a football match where you keep passing the ball around, just playing ball control.
Towards their side, but not going for goal because there's 9 defenders back.
Yeah.
I have no idea how many people play football.
I don't play football. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
We like electronic sports where there's lasers. Does football have lasers? I think not.
Not yet. I think it will be a marked improvement, but not everyone may agree.
I agree. I definitely agree. For now, though, temples are spawning. We're seeing Fnatic taking control of the top one, but Teh89 roaming up quite aggressively here. They actually want Quacknix, but not able to catch up to him. And instead, he turns around and drops some good damage onto Zarmley, and at least is able to scout out how many people are here. And that does also even up the fort count.
Shooting at the last fort that is still on the perimeter.
Yep, both forts look like they are going to go down here, so we're just seeing the team still stay even, but Fnatic currently with a talent advantage. Look where they're going. They want to try and make the most of this and catch someone. They find a Thero.
Wow,
but it's
10% again.
Yeah.
Oh, that was scary.
Yeah, Chen retreating back. He might need to go B after that.
Do you want to have a talk, Chen? Like, are you okay? But they do steal the shrine.
Yeah, they're able to take control of that. The level 16 advantage, a bit too scary for Teh89 to try and engage into. So instead, they move back, play a bit safer. They may even give up this Siege Giant camp, not willing to take the risk because they have a lot of people top lane because they want to try and get their 16 via Dahaka. Wubby, though, already in a position to run away. In comes the Thero, in comes Eternal. They want it. There is the Essence. There's the Barrel. There's the Burrow. So many bees. And we are seeing Wubby getting picked off here. That is a lot of people. And even Dahaka can't escape that. But Fnatic using this to the best of their abilities, just going to push the mid lane and the bottom lane right now. And they have Siege Giants with this. So this is going to force quite a few members of Teh to be back.
Johanna uses Punish on the healing fountain. It was super effective.
That healing fountain has definitely sinned. It needed to be punished.
Yeah.
So for now,
no more healing out of you, young man.
No more healing. You're keeping them alive too much. How dare you? So we are going to see the top 4 go down. Did it go down to the lasers? It will. Actually, no, it's not going to go down to the minions due to Quacknix getting there just in time. And we will see the minion waves will have to be kept an eye on. Thero in position. Barrel not available, but he does have pressure point now, so he's trying to use that for the taste potential, as does the Earth Grass Totem, which apparently is affected by Mighty Gust, I just discovered.
That's really funny. It's like that totemic projection at level 7 you can
exactly.
Take. Relocate your totem once.
Yeah, bring it back. Just like, no, don't blow my totem away. Teh89 with a super aggressive boss play, but they were trying to bait out someone here for a Thero to engage on. Weren't able to catch anyone. Fnatic playing a little bit too cautious. They don't have to Haka with them, but they need to be careful. The slows from that pressure point and from that Earthgrass Totem are so scary. The Void Prism is good onto 2 members. Dahaka has arrived. The grass does miss, though, and the Void Prism expires before they can pick off anyone.
Yeah, VP does nothing on the healer and the main damage dealer.
Oh, nice burrow from Wubby, but he's on his own. Zeratul coming in to try and help him. Dahaka goes down, but Eternal is going to go down in exchange. But Uther separated out completely from his team there, and that is a 1-for-1 for both teams here. And Teh89 goes straight back onto the boss.
It was just funny. It was like a really good VP, exactly what you want to do sometimes. You section off the healer and potentially anyone more, and you focus the rest. But if it's Chen Muradin and then Thrall was behind the 2 tanks,
Yeah, sorry, somebody's taking a bit of damage. I also made the mistake of saying it was 1 for 1. It was 2 for 1. Gust is available. Quacknix coming in from behind. If the boss takes damage, they push it in.
Grab
to
again.
Quacknix. He's taking damage, and he goes in with the Vorpal Blade. He goes down, but now Quacknix and Breeze separated from Falstad, who goes down. Boss still vulnerable, so now that is the only boss steal potential taken away.
Oh, the Burning
away,
Rage!
comes back in. Burning Rage is good. They're able to take down one Zarmony. Drops low. He jumps away, though. And Fnatic looking to steal the boss here. Wobby is back. He is here, and now the numbers advantage is theirs. Zeratul going after Zarmony. He's banner is low. Athero trying to hold the point. The stun lands on Wobby. Zarmony and Quacknix so low. Quacknix gets the kill. The barrel. Over to Fnatic, and now they're gonna
now Sundering is up.
Yeah, just in time. He goes for Wobby. He tries to get the kill and hit him. No, Smexy is here to save it, and we see Fnatic get the boss and get way more kills out of this.
Ouch.
That was a stressful time. Let's see it again.
Would you like another heart attack? Let's take
yeah,
a look.
because we do. So we're going to see that again quite shortly while the boss continues to push that bottom keep here. And we do. So we're going to see that again quite shortly while the boss continues to push that bottom keep here. And everyone else is now back from Fnatic except for Zeratul, who died right at the end here. Here is the replay.
The almost instant replay is here.
So
Athero.
The barrel is
Look at this damage on the boss. Yeah. He actually kills the boss with Burning Rage from Janna and his own cake damage, which is just like, I don't know, 30 damage per hit.
Well, that was the thing. If he'd saved the cake a little bit later, then he might have been able to get the boss, but he had so low health, he couldn't afford to take that risk. It was such an aggressive play. Just didn't work out for him.
Oh, man, that Liming teleport on Zeratul, trying to calamity him to death, but at the same time coming next to Janna, who has Burning Rage, and then getting condemned. That hurts.
Yeah, that sucks when you... That is a bad way to die, unfortunately, but didn't really know. Couldn't really do much about it. Teh89, though, once again alive. They're not out of this yet. They are, however, almost a full level down here, and 20s are available for Fnatic. We have the Epic Mount Indestructible, the Rewind Relentless, the Apex Predator, sorry, and Redemption coming in. Fnatic looking to make the most of it.
Benediction, Hammer of Justice on Sport Billy, but he gets out.
They pull him in. He uses Stone Form, pops Avatar as well. Zarmony just getting a huge amount of health here. Sport Billy was able to get out very quickly thanks to his teleport there, especially with that extra teleport on level 30. Surprise the Hacker, dropping the silence and the Void Prism. And Athero can't walk into the Void Prism. He couldn't see it thanks to the denial from the isolation. Ancestral still catches him though, but now Athero completely separated. He is 10 though. He goes down. 1-2 for 2. And but with the redemption, we will see Uther come back here. But Teh89,
Liming body blocks on Johanna. Hello?
They're trying to stop Breeze from chasing so that they can go for Smexy. They get Smexy here, but now Breeze is basically back to full health. Yes, no matter Wobby's back. Hi, Wobby. He takes down 4 billion from behind there.
Yeah, when you take down Uther with such happy abandon once again, he will start healing the rest. And
surprise,
they become unkillable.
Here comes Swimpy. They're chasing so aggressively here. They want Eternal. They pull him in with the drag. That chase is insane. And Fnatic able to take the fight here. Now they're going to put pressure on towards this mid key.
Now it's a 3 versus 2. Everyone's out of mana, so they need to kind of calm down. Oh, look at the mobility from the Haka at this phase.
Everywhere. Apex Predator so good here. But 20s are now available for Teh89. They have a lot of very solid abilities here. Hardened Shield, Storm Shield, Repulsion. They are very set to try and disengage, but it could have come at a level earlier for them if they were if they'd been willing to wait. But instead, they get caught out by Fnatic.
Especially that Thrall was the last to die when he was level 19.9, and he's
like,
someone.
Please, help! I need Bolt to escape.
It's actually that minion wave that they fight in at the bottom. Like that would have given them 20, but they didn't have time to attack it, obviously.
Yeah, they were a bit busy with the entirety of
Slightly
Fnatic.
preoccupied.
It's still a 2 for 2 until that last chase at the end there. They came out of that quite well, and we're actually 2-1 up at one point in that before it got turned around by Wobby, who is exceptional on this Dahaka at the moment.
Yeah, loving the plays here out of Dahaka. It's really sick. We are now in a situation on Sky Temple where the next temple, I do believe, it's going to be 1, probably.
Is it 1?
Oh, this was just 1. The next might be 2.
Yeah.
Either way,
we'll find out in a sec.
The temple lasers are no longer a valid objective for the 89 to hope for. Like the chance that they actually get all charges and don't get backdoored by triple global.
They're more like denying them from Fnatic at this point. Yeah, that is what they're aiming for.
They're still a 4-top. they need to fight. And this is a smart choice.
They want it. They want Breeze, but Mighty Gust pretty good at denying that. Eternal finds Quacknix, though, trying to chase him, but denied. Gets the root. But Breeze and Falstad coming in, trying to do some damage. The barrel not catching anyone. There's the Sundering. They want Shrimpy. There's the barrel roll. Lots of damage, and the Envenom, and Shrimpy goes down. The good Void Prism, though, to try and turn it around for Fnatic.
Sundering got cancelled, so it will be available in just about 1 or 2 seconds or so.
Yeah, they're trying to chase down Breeze, taking a lot of damage here. That pressure point is good, indestructible. Will keep him alive. Smexy drops a little bit of extra healing as well, so Breeze gets out of there fairly nicely here. Catapults and Siege minions on that bot lane. So Teh89 in the same situation as last game, where they're able to take a bit of an advantage and then have to be back to defend their base.
Yeah, very much pressure on them with the Siege camp. Oh, the boss was coming up. I was just wondering about that. The perfect time.
Yeah,
Falstad is dead. Void Prison is unavailable, and it's 5 versus 4.
Yeah, they're just going to let those the Giants die in the bot lane to the minion wave. In comes Fnatic. They want to try and contest this. Barrel is not available to prevent this, but Repulsion is.
The 89 cannot afford to delay.
Yeah, they're leaving it. Fnatic not going to waste this.
No, I mean, the 89 cannot afford to have been delayed here. So it's smart that the Ethereal came to cancel, because otherwise they would give away both lasers.
Yeah, and instead we are going to see Wubby, who was able to tunnel up the top lane to push that out a bit. So catapults will threaten the core. And this is going to be a problem for Teh89. The core being threatened here. Falstad flying down to the bot lane so they can help deal with the boss. Middle keep dying, but Dahaka has left that. He's come down to help his team as well. So both lasers going over to Teh89, leaving in top lane, clearing out the minion wave. So the base is still safe from Teh89. And Fnatic, they are a little bit on the back foot for the first time in this game. They'll kill the boss, but their keeps are under fire from the double lasers. They want to take a fight, though.
Well, I think Fnatic is still in a position of comfort. Even if both lasers finish shooting all the way for the 89, Fnatic will still be ahead. That's the truth here.
Yeah.
Ahead in XP, ahead in fortification still. So they're taking this from a place of comfort. And they just apply pressure and move away.
Dahaka straight back there. Fnatic instead, though, going to try and wrap around. They find a Pharaoh. A little bit off on his own. The Epic Mount there, not able to get the value this time, but they are still chasing. Barrel used. So that's going to be off cooldown for a while. Void Prism is going to stop that catapult from doing some damage. So we will see the catapult.
Killing our minion wave.
Yeah, how dare you.
It again.
Yeah, but it is a very bad idea at this point due to how many people of Teh89 are there. Fnatic instead, though, going to try and wrap around. They find a Pharaoh. A little bit off on his own. The Epic Mount there, not able to get the value this time, but they are still chasing. Barrel used. So that's going to be off cooldown for a while. Void Prism is going to stop that catapult from doing some damage. So we will see the catapult.
Killing our minion wave.
Yeah, how dare you. You can't siege our mid lane. So that gets taken out.
To be honest, if the Void Prison hit on the barrel, they would have finished them off, I think.
Absolutely. They could have easily positioned themselves in front of him enough that even the knockback, the damage they could have outputted would have been enough here. So instead, it's the Siege Giants are the name of the game for Fnatic here. Whereas Dahaka, the name of the game is Be Somewhere Else. Right now, it's just, I'm just going to wait in the bush for a bit, see if anyone comes past.
Look at the damage Falstad doing a lot here, both Hero and Siege.
Zeratul not too far behind, though. Been doing a very nice job here.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Despite not being used in some of the ways we expected him to, he has done a good job. He's been very much in the backline, very much not fighting people that maybe he in some other comp shouldn't, but making it work out for his team, making good use of the huge mobility with Wormhole and Vorpal Blade.
And the rewind in case something goes horribly wrong. About 2,000 damage per game minute.
Oh, surprise. The bolt to dodge it. But a lot of damage is dropped out. Hammer time, not enough to lock him down, though. And that is now Mighty Gust off cooldown, but also Bolt to the Storm. And the turnaround coming in from Teh89. The barrel is good, separating out Smexy style here. But the Thundering kills off Falstad here. Smexy getting focused. The Repulsion pushes him back. He's trying to run away. He is going to go down here. Redemption is available, but he is so far away from his team now. And that's one in the bit kills going over to Teh89, who are just going to chase Uther here, who runs for the core.
Why?
Uther, what?
Why?
He's delaying because the temples are up. He's just delaying
not
for his
yet.
team. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. Okay. Well, he's dead now. And now Fnatic just going to grab some mercenaries. I guess he bought time for his team to come back to life. Because he was going to die anyway. He can't be back in that form. So I don't think he could have got out of that.
Yeah, I mean, he would die, but I see benefits in him dying fast.
Yeah, but
and keeping his shield.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually better to just knock your head against the wall and revive quicker, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, but...
Maybe. Fnatic They're trying to go for Rhaegar right now. The silence is on him from that isolation. He goes down. This is the kind of style we expected them to play from the start. Now trying to get around, but Quacknix gets focused brutally here. And now it is Warriors versus Warriors here, but Li Ming arriving just in time. Barrel completely separating everyone from Fnatic away from Teh89 here. But now Chen's kind of on his own. But Li Ming and Rhaegar have come back. High false stab. Just in time to see the disengage.
Just in time.
Just in time.
4 versus 3 situation. The 89 is clawed back. Now, this is a pretty big push. Luckily, Core does splash damage.
Both
PSA, very much so PSA.
Both keeps, all 3 keeps are dead for both teams. And currently lasers on both cores. Are we about to see a base race? But Shrimpy on the core, huge damage. He realizes he can't do it alone though, because Teh89, Infernal, getting burst down by Uther here. Smexy giving chase. Here comes Johanna. They need to deal with Spawn Spinning. This is not enough damage. The laser. I think Teh89 just made the wrong call.
This could be a photo finish here. Lasers are shooting on the core.
The lasers are about to run out. They're running out of lasers. Catapults out there. Last few shots. Last 5 shots should be enough here. Swimpy had no health at the end of that. And they win it in the end. And Fnatic go 2-0 at the moment. Only 1 game away from going to the finals. But yeah, the Warriors didn't do enough damage on the core there, Grubby.
Nope, and Thrall was actually getting taken out by Uther.
Yeah.
I'll cross one off on things that I never thought I will see.
Yeah, Dahaka also very at the end of that. You saw him being back after taking all the temple shots. I could not see his health bar. He literally gave all of his health to win his team the game there.
So brave.
He sacrificed himself. He could have done. He actually, the fact he survived was just pure luck. But he was just like, I'm just going to get all the shots and my team can just delay. And it worked out perfectly. An amazing choice by Wobby there.
Another very close finish.
Yeah.
38% on their core. Last game it was 6 or 8.
Yeah. Teh89, they've made some really good core calls, but so far it's been a bit of bad luck for them.
It almost reminds us of Never Lucky here, actually. Always such close games, and if you have to feel sorry for Teh89 because they always seem to manage to come back despite having rough times during the middle of the stages of the game, but it just isn't enough to close it out.
I think they had it. I honestly believe that they had the game when they were going. The boss clown fiesta that we saw happening that basically initiated a huge rise for Fnatic, and before that it really looked like from there on out the fights would be in favor of Teh89. I think if they play like calm, collected, take the boss, they have the game.
Teh89's play at the moment is reminding me a lot of G2 back when they were in this game, where only instead of throwing on bosses, they're throwing on cores.
Yeah.
That is very... Although G2 did that a lot too, to be fair.
I don't believe that the throw was at the core. I really think it was that boss before.
Yeah.
It was that where everything just like died, and at that point they were very even still in experience.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, first of all, they lose that huge fight at the boss, which we're going to have a closer look at in a moment. But then after that, they actually are forced into a level 16 versus level 20 fight that they nearly win. They end up like, I think, trading kind of evenly.
18 versus 20, surely. I haven't seen a 4-level differential.
Yeah.
No, talents.
Oh.
In talents. 16 talents versus 20 talents. So it was just like the 19 thing. They were like on 18, 19, something like that against the 20. And they nearly go for an even trade there. And that would have never even happened if they would have been successful at that boss and then completely obliterated there. The barrel attempt that we're going to have a closer look at, where he activates the barrel too early to steal the boss. It's just like,
We're actually going to have a closer look at one of those highlights as well, so Calder, take it away.
I mean, there we go. This is like this is the crucial point. And when look at the experience difference, it's non-existent. The kills are also not there. All of a sudden, we have like 2 heroes down. This is the moment where you really need to make your play. They drop low. We are seeing Grand Paquette about to fall. They end up in the boss stun half the time. Everything is completely chaotic. Heroes die on both sides. All of a sudden, it's still a 3 versus 2 here, though. But then we are seeing them all die. There's the Burning Rage of Johanna. All of a sudden, it's only a 2 for 2. We have the 2 tanks in there. And it's just like chaos. Of course, the Haka comes back. That's a big thing. And there's still a hero. And here he makes that play. And he wants to go for the boss. And if he activates that barrel just a moment later, he actually is going to be able to get it.
That was so close.
The boss is
low
there.
health, though. It was such a risk.
It was It's still, it's still.
I 100% agree with you, but you can't fault him for that. That is 100% a panic thing.
Oh no, that was chaos everywhere. But like,
I don't even want to imagine what it felt like to be in the TeamSpeak or other voice communications there. I mean, that was crazy. And how many times have we seen in one of those YouTube compilations where Shen actually manages to defend the boss with a one-drink kick? So
I thought he had it. I really thought he had it there for quite a bit.
They should have had it, the boss overall. I mean, not with Ethereum at the end, as you said, he had to use it at some point. But even before, they were in an advantageous position, they get split again.
Yeah.
There's drama everywhere, people are dying left and right, and the Haka comes in.
He got the silence onto Chen as well. Like, he dropped that as Chen jumped over him, he got the isolation on him.
But that's really where the game went south, because before that, their fights were better. Then all of a sudden, they lose so many structures because of everything that happens, that the globals become so much more powerful. Yeah. And they end up in a situation where they win basically every fight from there on.
Yeah.
But you just like play around them. And that's what Fnatic did. And it really worked for them. So
it was really worth it. And without hesitating for much longer, we're actually going to take a look at the second replay coming in here, Kaldor.
I believe this is like at the bottom lane when they're starting to move. Again, this is a fight. Look at this. 19 versus 20. This is like the talent. 16 talent versus 20 talents. That was, first of all, great play here already on the theory. He's trying to get away. I believe he dies here now. But we still have them with a pretty decent trade. There's the kill against Zeratul. Ethereum dies as a result. They get another kill against Uther, who unfortunately now comes back because he already has redemption. They don't have the 20s. The body block that were pointed out by Grubby in the game, where Li Ming is actually zoning out Johanna. They're jumping in again, and once more we're going to see the Haka coming in the last moment. But they win this fight without the 20 talent.
Yes.
And it's so close as well. I mean, look at the XP bar up there. If they have that little bit of experience and hit the 20 in this fight, they are not going to lose any heroes here, and they might even get more damage in. They are like the unluckiest team in the entire universe.
If they had found Wobby as well, he was just being in that bush slightly below them with no health. He just tunneled away with tiny amount of health left. If they'd found him, he wouldn't have come back in and been able to turn that fight around. They're just so unlucky here.
So I mentioned, or I talked to Colors about this for a short while. Do you think that one of the reasons why this game was so chaotic was the fact that Fnatic had a very weird setup here? Wooby didn't play the Zeratul, Quacknix didn't play the false state, instead they switched it all around because of that the Haka pick, of course. Do you think that was a reason why this game got so messy?
Yeah, I think so.